Hey everybody, Bryce here, Fit for Family Garden. Today I'm going to do kind of a little two portion video here for you. What I wanted to show you first is something that I started doing this year, and I think it's really helping a lot, and then give you a quick garden tour. So first, this here is my garden journal log and journal book. So what I've been doing this year, a little bit different than the past years, is I went out and I bought this binder. So you can get these anywhere. You can get them at Office Depot, Office Max, Walmart, any of that kind of stuff. I had a calendar in here. I really didn't stick with the calendar. Probably should have. Did a layout of what my garden looks like, numbered all my beds, and all that stuff. Showed where my blackberries were, raspberry, blueberries, asparagus, all that kind of stuff. Then I went through and this is spring. This is everything that I planted in the spring in bed one. Showing my trellis, showing edamame. Kind of wrote down some problems I was having and everything else. And then I've gone and I've marked down what I planted in the fall. So that way I kind of have some ideas of what I planted and everything else. So spring's on one side, fall's on the other, spring, fall, so on and so forth. Garlic that was overwintered. So that's all the beds. So then, this type of binder came with this graphing paper, so I used that. I had a section where I was starting my seed starting trays, so that way I knew what I was growing and everything else. Probably didn't utilize that as much as I should have, so next year that'll be a little bit of a difference. I had a section in here where I wrote down when I planted stuff, so that way I knew how stuff was doing. Where I got it, if it was seeds or if I bought it at a store or if it was a volunteer plant, all that kind of stuff. And then what I did here is it's a harvest log. So I'm sure you guys have seen some of these pictures from me if you follow me on Facebook and everything else. But I go through and each time I do a harvest, I write down what I got. And of course you can see as the season got warmer and everything else, I started getting more and more things. So, front, back. And what I did is I put down how many of each type of item I harvested, and then I weighed it, in ounces. Big reason I did this is a lot of stuff you buy in the grocery store is weighed in ounces. So, I want to be able to match that. And what I've been doing is as I go to the store or if I can see online, I'll write down how much stuff is. Now, granted, this is at one point in time, doesn't really have to do with, different points in the season. This stuff is more available, it's cheaper. If it's not as available, it's more expensive, all that kind of stuff. So I think I need to get a little bit better with writing down how much something costs when I'm harvesting it compared to when it's in the store and everything else, and write down the dates of when I see the prices change. But I'm gonna here in a little bit, as some other things start winding down, I'm gonna start writing and figuring out what, how much I've harvested from the garden compared to what I would have spent in the store. So that's my binder, just kind of how I do things. Like I said, I've learned a few things this year. There's probably some things I'll do different next year. I'm into the fall season now here, kinda. So hang on, we'll get. All right, so out here at the entrance to my garden. So I'm in northeastern North Carolina right now. This will probably be my last fall here. We're looking at moving up into the Hampton Roads area of Virginia. So for those of you who don't know, it's like the Chesapeake, Virginia Beach, Hampton, Norfolk type. They call it the 7 cities out here. It'd be like one large city anywhere else. But we're gonna move about 20-30 miles north of where we're at. But it won't happen until the spring. So I'm trying to get everything I can now out of here have one last good go around, and then I'll be taking you all on the adventure when I start over up there. But here's the tour. Right now I'm in zone, it's depending on what you look at, it's either a zone 8A or a zone 7B. So different things, different sites say different things. I've done zip code searches and everything else. So depending on if I go off Elizabeth City or I go off of Chesapeake, I'm either 8A or 7B, even though I'm right in the middle of both of them. But here's a garden tour of what's going and what's still going from the spring and what's going now. So this here is my mixed lettuce bed. Everything in here, all seeds from migardener.com. Shout out to him. Good seeds, 99 cents a piece. He was doing a buy one get one. Now he's doing a grab bags of everything that's left. Usually does that at the end of the year, but I'll be hitting him up again next year. But I do learn from him and learn from Gary on the Rusted Garden to kind of do a what is this, overseeding method, where you grow everything close, use it for leaves. As you can tell, I've done a pretty good harvest right through here, so I still got that whole backside to go. And then those were planted earlier, some of those have started to bolt, so I'll probably pull those out and restart that area. But got some arugula, red sails, red romaine, just all sorts of different stuff throughout here. Can't really tell, it's not all red yet, but it'll get there. It's my jumbo jalapeno plant, still going strong, so you know, I'm leaving it in the ground, letting it go. This here is my Tabasco pepper. Seems to be falling over a little bit, so we'll tamp that down some, see if we can get it to stand back up. Probably have to get back out here and give it another stake. So just kind of walk you through what I got, what's showing up, what you can see. This here's a Rosa Blanca eggplant. I really didn't start getting anything out of this till just recently. It's been growing all year, but this was, I think it was overshaded in this bed by some of the other stuff that was in there. Right there I have some zucchini squash that I just planted a couple weeks ago, so that way I can try to get a fall harvest out of that. Some more squash right here. Throughout here I got some radishes, some beets, some carrots going over here. Did notice that I had a little caterpillar growing around through here. It's got some turnips that are probably about ready to come out. One thing I have a problem with is a lot of people say you can eat turnip greens. My turnip greens are prickly. So if anybody knows a good way to, can you eat turnip greens raw, or do you have to cook them, get those pricklies off them? I don't know, let me know. My tomato box is still going. In another video you saw me that I came through and I just basically cut a whole bunch of stuff off of this, and everything's grown back, started going strong again. The alpaca tomatoes, which one fell off there, it's because it's been getting eaten, darn it. I use those for my paste, so we're tossing that in the compost bin. Got another one there. Some of my cherry tomatoes are going. Different types here. I got the, you know, your typical red, got the Cherokee purples, got some yellows. So next year I will definitely be doing a lot less cherry tomatoes and more of the paste tomatoes. So everything over there is all of my volunteer peppers. They all grew in a tight area, all different types here. Don't even know what half of these are, but what I did use a lot of these for, dried them, turned them into red pepper flakes. Worked really good. Another squash plant that I planted just a few weeks ago, doing really good. Planted that from seed. These here, I'm guessing, because I have a lot of the leftovers and remnants of Aunt Molly ground cherries that fell and never got harvested. But these look like two new Aunt Molly ground cherry plants. So if I can get a couple of those to pop up, I will take them. Red Malabar spinach. That was all volunteer from last year. Sprouted up, finally took off. A little bit more than I need it to be. So I might prune that out some. So cucumbers over here, some Thai basil, regular basil, bell pepper plant that just started producing bells. So this one took a while. I think once again, shading. I started it from seed in the garden, placed in a tray. So getting stuff out of it at the late part of the season, I will gladly take. Some more snacking peppers. I got quite a few of those going. This one's a snacking pepper, but I still have yet to get anything off of it. I was trying something right here where I planted 3 plants around a stake to see how high density I could go. Think I probably won't do that anymore. So another pepper plant, bell peppers there. And then I have my poblanos right there and another bell pepper here, hoping to start get some more out of that. Red Russian kale plant that was a volunteer from last year. Some dinosaur kale that's still going. This is all from the spring. This was some of the other kale that I had. I don't know, looks like it's dying out. I might have to take it out. That was my Scotch crow kale, which I really like. I found that I had less bug problems with that, but like I said, it's starting to die out. Swiss chard is starting to come back with a vengeance, except for seeing those. So make sure to pick him off and toss him out. Sugar snap peas are going good. I need to get some of these weeds out of here. Pole beans going good. This year I threw some squash seeds down in this little pot, these little pots here. The other stuff died out of these two. That one didn't do anything, and then now all of a sudden it's growing a plant. So let's see what we get out of it. And I'm fighting these like crazy. And my last bed over here, just on the other side of this one. Had to replant some bush beans. All the bush beans I had in here got eaten by those ladybug looking type bugs that are not ladybugs. So I've replanted everything through here. Black Beauty eggplant is still going strong. This is the best year I've ever had for eggplant. We actually, to a point where we have so much eggplant we don't know what to do with it. We've been setting it up as eggplant parmesan. We started the process with them and then froze them. But if anybody else has any other ideas of what you can do with eggplant, how you can preserve it and everything else, please let me know. And then my normal jalapeno plant, getting a lot of jalapenos off of this. I'll be doing some more cowboy candy with that because I've found that I actually like it. So, and got another squash plant down here. So that's everything that's going right now. I did something a couple days ago, haven't seen anything from it yet because, like I said, it's been a couple days. I went through and all these big bare areas that you see here, there, and there, I threw down some Trifecta Plus over the top of everything. And then I went ahead and I did what Luke was trying to do, which is I took radishes, I took turnips, I took beets, I took carrots, I took some Swiss chard that I had, some kale, some spinach, tossed all the seeds. They were just seeds that I had laying around. I don't know if they're good anymore. I don't know if they're bad anymore. I don't know what. Put them all in a mason jar, shook them up, threw a bunch of seeds down throughout here. So I don't know what's in there. It could be radishes, could be beets, could be Swiss chard, it could be spinach. Same with over here. Filled in some of the gaps over here. Did some of it in here and a lot in here. And if I remember correctly, I even did a little bit in here. So I'll kind of keep you guys posted. Didn't think about spacing or anything else. I just kind of shook the jar out and tossed the seeds wherever they landed. So we'll see what happens. So like I said, that was a couple days ago. Probably not much of a growth on that yet, but we'll see. Hopefully it'll be a good thing. I've seen some pretty good production out of what he did. So I thought I'd give it a go. it's been a warm fall. We're in October and we're bouncing back and forth between upper 70s, 90s. Yesterday was 101. Don't expect that in October, but that's what we're getting. Hopefully it'll start to cool off a little bit. Some of the spinach and whatnot will go, start popping up and everything else. The lettuce will stop bolting as bad as it is, but these other root crops and stuff will start popping up, and we'll show you how that goes. All right, thanks for following. If you can, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, follow along, see how this overseeding without space consideration goes. And also, if you have any tips, any hints, what to do with eggplant when you got a bunch of it, other recipes for regular jalapenos, not the jumbos. We like to stuff those. We'll take those. Stuff I can do with my mystery peppers, because I got a bunch of those still. Stuff I can do with the Cubanelles. I got a bunch of those and don't know what to do with them. So any and all help I can get, I appreciate it. Thanks for following along, and we'll talk to you later.